What's good, y'all? It's me, Chris, back here with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing how these celebrities and clout chasers gotta go. Get her out of here. But before we get into that, if you like, you can go ahead and follow me on my other social media platforms. Here's my Twitter and my Instagram. And while y'all are here, you can check out some of my recent videos. As y'all know, we've been having a lovely time discussing some of the recent Insecure episodes, as well as I made a video about how there is no such thing as being a perfect victim when it comes to experiencing police brutality, and how respectability politics will not save your black ass. So y'all go ahead and check those out. That will give you kind of like a precursor to the discussion that we're going to be having today. So this video, essentially, what I want to talk about is just the amount of fools and opportunists that have decided to come out during these times of rage and anger. So as most, I hope most of you don't know. If not, please tap in now. The time to engage is now. But unfortunately, another black person fell victim to police brutality. His name was George Floyd. This was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He was killed by an officer by the name of Derek Chauvin. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I really don't care. And with this death, it really enraged and created a lot of anger in people. And there's been, I would say, an uprising, if you will. I mean, we've literally had 50 states and many countries globally protesting and speaking out about the injustices of black lives. Like, I don't know if it's just I was not aware years ago, but to me this definitely feels different. I know a lot of people are drawing comparisons to Ferguson, but this to me feels like just so an overwhelming support and an overwhelming amount of people who feel just tired. And this is what black people have been feeling like for centuries. So welcome to the party. Thank God. Like, catch up. We got a lot a lot of work to do. So with all this has been an enormous amount of protest. And listen, it doesn't go lost on me that it was a black man. So I do want us to be mindful that let us keep our energy for every single black life that falls victim to state sanctioned violence. There was a black trans man who died in Florida. A week ago, no one has barely said his name. There was Breonna Taylor, who died just the day before George Floyd was shot in her home. So, thankfully, the cases in which Breonna Taylor was in, they've been reopened. There's going to be an investigation. There is, thankfully, due to social media and many other people amplifying these cases, that a lot of these people are getting acknowledged. So let's just be mindful of that. But people are tired. There's outrage. Also remember that we're in a pandemic. There's been over 40 million people in the past 2 months since we've been on quarantine that have filed for unemployment. There's so many people that still are not getting the help and resources that they need, and they're frustrated. And they've gone to the streets and they've gone organizing. And it's been beautiful for me. I don't want to romanticize it, but it's been really rewarding for me to see the amounts of people come together, black people and non-black people. Listen, me personally, I don't celebrate anybody who's using their privilege to amplify their platform. That's what all of us should be doing in our privileged places, and whatever platform, whatever voices we can use, we all should be doing that. Like, that's the bare minimum. So I'm not going to celebrate it to say I'm not going to like uplift a non-black person and put them on a pedestal, but I will say it's been nice to see. It's something different than I've ever seen before. That could be me having blind spots, but I don't think I've seen such an uprising in a long time. So with all that being said, there's been so many people who want to come out and now be heard too. So the first part of this video that I want to talk about is social media, brands, and organizations taking this opportunity to get clout, to be opportunistic, if you will. So the first one that's up for the dragging is TikTok. As those of you that don't know, I'm filming on a new camera. The quality is great. My melanin's popping. Thank my mother. She helped me purchase a camera. Shout out to you, Mom, for investing in this black queer man. But yeah, so I say that to say that I can use my phone now while I do YouTube videos and record. So that's what I'll be referring to during this video. I have some notes. So the first company that I want to talk about is TikTok. TikTok came out and said, as TikTok, we deeply value diverse voices among our users, creators, artists, partners, and company. We stand with the Black community and are proud to provide a platform where hashtag Black Lives Matter and hashtag George Floyd generate powerful, important content with over 1 billion views. We are committed to fostering a space where everyone is seen and heard. Really, TikTok? Really? You're interested in fostering a space where everyone is seen and heard? Then how come when you log onto your app, it takes forever to see a black content creator? How come black content creators' TikToks are not visible to everyone else that is visible on the platform? How come white TikTokers' content go viral? How come black originators of the content on your platform don't get the credit and recognition that the white ones get? You say you were interested in fostering a space where everyone is seen and heard. How come TikTokers who are black that talk about racism, TikToks get deleted? How come the racist TikToks get amplified and go viral and get pushed onto so many social media platforms? Huh? Did you know that the day before the hashtags Black Lives Matter and George Floyd were shadow banned? You clicked on the hashtags and you couldn't see any information. It seems like TikTok has been dodging every single chance that they can acknowledge racism on their platform and the racism that they participate in. I'm not quite understanding. Like, if you're connected into the internet, into social media, you will see plenty of content creators have come out and talked about the injustices, the racism, the erasure that happens on TikTok. Didn't we just have months ago that young lady, Jalila, who did the renegade dance, get erased by that white girl who was getting opportunities being on Ellen and the NBA and being seen? This is performative. This is performative at best. Fuck TikTok. I need to see, realistically, let's be real, black content creators have been running social media apps for a long time. TikTok is no exception to this rule. So many. The reason why every app pops as the way it does is because of black people. It's gotten to the point now where people refer to language on the internet as Twitter lingo or internet lingo or Facebook lingo, not recognizing that it's the language that black people have always used, and the it's the language that black people are using on the app that gets amplified, and all of a sudden the erasure of blackness happens, and it becomes something that happened on the internet, and now everyone can partake in it. That's literally what TikTok has benefit on every single time. So no, I won't take this performative TikTok. I'm gonna need you. I need brand endorsements from all the TikTokers. I need I need reparations for every single black content creator that has gotten erased. And I will say I'm not someone who's active on TikTok, but I'm very active on Twitter, and TikToks end up on Twitter all the time and on Instagram, on Facebook. Like, it's crazy. I swear that's probably the one social media app that so many people are aware of, but they just don't have logins, because that's how much TikToks travel. Like, they get amplified, they go viral really quick. So I just want us to be mindful. Hold TikTok to the fire. These little acknowledgments of the black community and their black content creators, they're just noise to me until there's some action and acknowledgement of their wrongdoings. Next one, YouTube. YouTube wanted to speak on the black community. So YouTube tweeted this out. We stand in solidarity against racism and violence. When members of our community hurt, we all hurt. We're pledging $1 million in support of efforts to address social injustice. Oh, y'all care about social injustice? Why does every single black content creator on your platform that talks about racism and social injustices videos get demonetized? Constantly. If you consume any commentator, any black commentator on YouTube, they've made this be very well known that their videos, when it talks about uncomfortable, which I don't even know how race is an uncomfortable topic. How is talking about race controversial? How was talking about something that white people created controversial? Please, somebody answer me this. Please, 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 please. I'm looking for the answer. I don't understand the controversy in which racism brings. It's something that exists. It's something that does not stop, and it's something that's been happening for centuries. So where's the controversy in just talking about that? So I find it to be very funny that YouTube cares about social issues, social injustices, when constantly black content creators' videos are demonetized or shadow banned. Shadow ban means that they're not seen for all their subscribers, means that they're not pushed into the algorithm. So at the same time of black content creators' videos being demonetized, white racism videos are allowed to go viral. They're on the trending page. They are allowed to be made, their videos are allowed to be made money for days without any type of acknowledgement, without any type of repercussions. PewDiePie, I don't know if you're familiar with him. I'm not familiar with his content. I mean, I am familiar with him as his persona. PewDiePie is like one of the most popular YouTubers here on this platform. Years ago, he came out and did some very anti-Semitic shit on his platform, and that totally changed the way YouTube operated. There was a thing called ad apocalypse, in which the advertisers were just very unsettled at PewDiePie's content and was just unsure of any further content that their ads were going to be featuring on YouTube, and YouTube had to do a whole they just totally redesigned in which the ad revenue happened, and it affected a lot of content creators, especially the black ones. And then what happens? PewDiePie recently, fast forward years later, after all the damage he's inflicted onto the platform and affected so many smaller channels, so many non-visible channels, what did they do? They gave him a streaming deal. I don't know what that consists of, but they clearly are invested in the PewDiePie brand. So are you for social injustices when you promote the racist people who affected your platform the most? Are you for social injustices? Like I said, none of these brands, I need action. I need these brands to be committed to fixing the damage that they've already done, to silencing the voices that they have already. Listen, if this video don't go viral, it's racism. No, I'm just kidding. But still, nonetheless, I'm not standing up for this. I need action, especially when there's plenty of proof years after year after year. Just recently, whole channel got demonetized because they do try-on hauls. That's such a common YouTube video, very common from all different demographics. But because, viewers are sick, some people put very salacious, very explicit comments on the trials. So now they demonetize her whole channel because it's not appropriate, and it breeds, they're claiming that it breeds an environment of inappropriateness that's not allowed on a platform. Of course, the content creator is black. Moving on. The last brand organization that I want to talk about is the creme de la crop of white supremacy, capitalism, patriarchy in this discussion. They hold the hammer. They are the Thor of this conversation. The NFL. The NFL family is greatly saddened by the tragic events across our country. The protesters' reactions to these incidents reflect the pain, anger, and frustration that so many of us feel. Our deepest condolences to the family of Mr. George Floyd and to those who have lost loved ones, including families of Miss Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Mr. Ahmaud Arbery, the cousin of Tracy Walker of the Detroit Lions. As current events dramatically underscore, there remains much to do as a country and as a league. These tragedies inform the NFL commitment and our ongoing efforts. There remain an urgent need for these goddamn statements is so long-winded. If they would have just did all these actions, they wouldn't have be to releasing these 4 4-paragraph essays on how they care about Black lives? Have they just shown that shit years ago when Kaepernick was out there peacefully protesting for Black lives? We recognize the power of our platform and communities as part of the fabric of American society. We embrace that the responsibility and are committed to continuing the important work to address these systemic issues together with our players, clubs, and partners. The NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Roger Goodell, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. This is the one that pisses me off the most. That pisses me off the most. You guys said nothing. Nothing when you had a Black player out there protesting silently. There was no words in defending his actions and defending his and amplifying his voice. There was nothing. But now that it gives you some type of clout, it gives you some type of cachet. Fuck you. Fuck the NFL. That's all I really gotta say to this. I need an apology to Kaepernick. If he wants his job back, give him his job back. He doesn't need to have his job back. Or if not, give his job to hire more Black people that are not players out on the field. Do that if you care so much about Black people. If you haven't read any literature, I would definitely advise you to about how the NFL specifically is very much just slavery reincarnated. It's a lot of parallels in which slaves were picked out, the strongest ones needed to perform. The selling of slaves is very much a lot of parallels in which the NFL connects to that. I would definitely advise you to read up on that. But no, fuck the NFL. I'm over it. I'm over the NFL. But that's all to say about the brands and companies. For me, I need action. The next I want to talk about is the amount of coons. The amount of coons that showed their asses during the time of the protests and the rioting and the looting that happened. So many people. I'm just going to start off by saying cisgendered, hetero Black men are the weakest links. I did not see almost no celebrity Black men who are cisgender come out and speak from an informed place and speak from a place of genuine concern of Black lives. So many celebrity Black men came out and showed that they are clearly invested in property and capital than they are in actual Black lives. First loser that we're talking about is Tyler Perry. He's one that, no surprise, like he's not invested in Black lives. Like, he does a horrible job of depicting Black queer people and Black women, and people have critiqued him for years, and still all he says is, well, I'm serving my audience, so who cares if you don't like it? He wanted to say that he's not in Atlanta, but that he would be standing right there with the mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. I don't live in Atlanta, but people who have followed from social media who live in Atlanta despise Keisha Lance Bottoms. Says that she does nothing for the people of Atlanta. But he wanted us to know that please stop the violence, and looting is not the answer. Next loser that we're discussing is Safari, ex-boyfriend of Nicki Minaj, flamboyant, showboat on Love and Hip Hop franchise, wanted to tweet out and say that protest is cool and all, but the burning the city down and all that don't make no sense. There's protesting and then there's stealing. Stealing don't got nothing to do with protesting. Shaking my head at you. Next loser that wanted to show that he cares more about property and money than Black people is The Dream. He tweeted out, "Dear people, if you are not from Atlanta, don't come here and please go home. I own things in the city. A lot of Blacks own things in this city, from Bankhead to Bughead. Do not destroy the property that negates the decades of work. My children will not be set back because of you." That's the one thing that all these Black men have in common. They don't care about all Black lives. They just care about the Black lives that they know. They don't care about the Black lives that are out there. The reason is why they're protesting. They got their money. They're good. There's some type of disconnect. I wonder if there's like a psychological shift that happens when you become rich, especially somebody like Tyler Perry, especially somebody like Safari. Like, these are people who grew up being poor, being disadvantaged, being displaced. Like, I'm not sure what happened. I guess when you decide to invest in capitalism, you have to just sell yourself and tap dance away. But fuck these black businesses. Fuck these black businesses. It took me a long time to realize that, but clearly, one, your need to speak out of all the things to talk about the destruction of property and not the destruction of black lives, that shows clearly what you prioritize. All this stuff can be replaced. There is insurance that people have. Things can be rebuilt. If you so rich, if you so engulfed with wanting to flaunt your wealth and rebuild the businesses that are being destroyed by very much willing, very much what's the word, everything that validated outrage, that's what I'm looking for. Everything that is happening is validated outrage, and as a result of the lacking concern, and as a result of what capitalism breeds, creating people to be so marginalized, to be so at the bottom. So fuck your businesses that can be replaced. Fuck black-owned businesses, because if we really break this down, how much are black businesses really owned? You talking about businesses that are in buildings that are owned by white people. You're talking about businesses in which they have loans from banks in which white people own. So how much of your black-owned business is really owned by you? One. Two, cool, you have a black business, but like at the end of the day, your black business still operates under the guise of capitalism. And it's still from the guise of being exploited. And yeah, you could kind of like mitigate that by like paying your employees fairly and giving pay vacation time and valuing them as humans and not just what they produce. But guess what? Even doing that, it's not going to save all black lives. It's not going to save a bunch of black lives. It's not going to liberate us. So your businesses, all that stuff, gotta go. Until black lives are valued, none of that stuff means anything. The only person with a little bit of sense was Tory Lane, was telling other celebrities on his Instagram live, like, please, if you don't know anything, talk to your publicist, talk to your team, learn some information, use Google. If not, then shut up. Because what you're doing is only negating, is only causing noise around the intentions of the validated, angry black people who have been marginalized in this country for centuries. Please, if you don't understand anything, just donate money or be quiet. That's the thing. No one is even looking to y'all celebrities to say anything. What? Didn't Malcolm X say something like that? Be careful as we glamorize these celebrities to be our leaders. There's something in this country that shows that all of a sudden, just because you made it rich, because you made it to be visible, that you are smart. That's not true. You do not have to be smart to exploit people. The blueprint, the map is already laid out. Now, I ain't gonna say, Tory Lane, that we didn't forget the stunt that you pulled last year to show that you understand colorism. We remember that, but you said some sense here, thankfully. The one black man who actually has some goddamn sense. And the last thing that I want to get into, y'all, I'm gonna drag my fade for a little bit, unfortunately, is Beyonce. I love Beyonce. I hate that I even have to preface this how much I love Beyonce, because at the end of the day, none of us are above critique. If anything, especially if you're out here for the black liberation, take critique and learn from it. It shouldn't be anything other than that. It's not personal. Beyonce, here she come on her Instagram platform. I believe she recorded a video. She had a filter. She was looking real like ethereal, which is fine. You want to look good for the public. A part of who you look is a part of your brand, your business, how you make money. Fine. Okay, cool. It just seemed a lot performative. It seemed a lot performative. It did not seem genuine. She had soft music playing in the background. Now, however her tone is she wants to deliver, that's up to her. You can be authentic. You can be engaging. You can draw attention to you and still be quiet and not need to be rambunctious, right? And not need to be loud. But she had this weird background music playing. And while she was speaking, she kept saying people of color instead of black. When you talk about our issues, my issues. You need to say black. You need to say black. I get it. There are a lot of issues at times that affect all people of color, but there's times that shit is specific to us. This right here, what we are talking about, police brutality, is talking about how it matters to black people. Don't be afraid to say black. Black is not a bad word. We don't need to include every single one all the time. That's the thing with black people. We so nice. We so inclusive. Even though the world excludes us from everything, even though we create it. But there's nothing wrong with addressing people as they are. And it's black. You do not need to say people of color. And with Beyonce, I understand the criticism because listen, this was her. She's the one that came out revamped with this black aesthetic, black liberation aesthetic. Came out her formations video dancing on the police car, clearly as a sign saying F the police. She came out at the Super Bowls with this beautiful attire of a mix between Michael Jackson and clearly a tribute to the Black Panthers. Like, we all thought Beyonce was on the she had Lemonade, an album dedicated to the black woman plight. We thought Beyonce was on some F the system, free black people. You know, she came out at Homecoming and wanted to highlight HBCUs. We thought Beyonce was on some shit. So when Beyonce came out with this POC softness performance, it's up for question. I'm questioning you because what you sold us is different from when your actions are right now, when we need you to be about that. When we need you to it be more than just aesthetic, when we need you to see the actions. Just so many performative people in these cases, and I'm just tired of it. Just shut up. If you don't know what needs to be said, Google, research, read. That is a part of this movement. You need to be read, and however you can consume the information, consume it. It's not to say that you need to read a book, but you need to read, you need the knowledge in order to participate in this liberation, or just shh, be quiet and donate. Be quiet and donate. That's all it is. I hope this video makes sense. It may have been a little over the place, testing some things out. I hope y'all enjoy, like I said, the camera. I hope y'all enjoy the lighting. I will include some links in which y'all can get some information, in which hopefully I can use my platform to be even more of resources to start, because that's all this is. I'm not an activist. I'm just someone who talks about this stuff. So it's just to start. Please use your time wisely. Please protect your peace. If you're a black person, I know that this is a lot for us right now. I know that this is a lot for us, but please consume media wisely. Take breaks as you need to. Find some type of joy, because this is very much a reality. This is going to be a constant. I don't even want to say this is the start, because this liberation for blackness has been going on for centuries, but this is just one more step to our freedom. And so protect your peace, because this is not a moment, it's a movement. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below. I love to hear what y'all think about all of these concerns. Subscribe to the krisbeknowin family if you enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!